Tifu by upsetting my girlfriend. My girlfriend went on a work trip and invited me to come. It was possible for me, so I booked the flight and went. First evening was good. Dinner, then basically straight to hotel and bed. Day 2, I toured around town while she worked. We headed towards each other in the evening. I gave her the intersection I was at when I arrived first. When she arrived, she gave me the location that she went to. It was only a block from where I was but spans about 3 blocks. Standing at the location that comes up when searched on Google Maps, I could not see her. Told her my location again and said let's just meet there. She couldn't figure out the streets and somehow couldn't see my real-time location I shared. After 30 minutes of this, we both were clearly agitated. She gave me the name of a store and said she'd wait for 5 minutes, then take an Uber back to the hotel, and I can do whatever I want. She just wants to go back to the hotel, would rather be home. Me to TBH. Store was 2 blocks away, so I started jogging. Got there and looked all over, inside and down both streets on the corner, and she was nowhere to be found. 5 minutes was up. I was texting that I was there asking where she is. No response for almost 10 minutes and doesn't answer when I call. Finally, she says by the front door. I was exactly where it comes up on Google Maps when you search for the store. I frantically start running around the building, realizing it spans the entire block, and find her around the corner at the opposite end of the block, and she was talking on the phone, so I just hugged her, relieved that I had finally found her. She blames me for not giving the name of a place she can look up. She doesn't know streets. She's hungry, so I thought food might make her feel better. Every place I suggested, after walking to them, she became even more upset because they were too crowded or loud, too long of a wait. I finally pull her to grab a small snack I knew she'd like that was nearby, so that momentarily pleased her. While looking for something to drink, I guided her in a direction of a place I wanted to surprise her with a scenic view of the sunset. We sat for about 30 minutes and talked about a situation that came up with my ex, who agreed to pick up our daughter from school the day I planned to fly back. Before I booked the flight, as soon as I landed, got a text that she tested positive for COVID and wanted me to pick our daughter up that day. Told her I couldn't, I'm out of town. She didn't believe me, so she said she wouldn't pick her up as agreed because she'd be out of town. I was texting my sisters. They were shocked that she'd take her to school after exposing her, and suggested calling the school. If she can't go to school, she doesn't need to be picked up. I think on it as it's already after hours. Back to the GF. She thinks I'm being shady, and it should be my ex's choice if she's comfortable with taking her to school, and I should just send her a picture to prove I'm not lying. I do that and she says she'll pick her up from school. Girlfriend continues to chastise me. I try to redirect her focus back to food as she's still hungry. We get to another restaurant I found that seems to have a quieter atmosphere and no wait. They tell us some people are just leaving so they can seat us once they clear the table. After waiting about 3 minutes, she catches a passing waitress and says, "Hey, we've been waiting a while for the table." Waitress half-asses apologies and explains that she was just given for tables and would be sure to prioritize ours, and continues to be rude throughout the service, and they charge an automatic 20% gratuity. She hoped to get bread while we waited. We did, but it was too dry and hard on the outside. I thought to myself, it's bread, what do you expect? Uncrustables. I literally cut the crust off some pieces and put them on her plate. Instead of using a knife to spread butter, she jams the bread into the butter. She's constantly staring at her phone. Food arrives. She went straight for what I ordered, tasting 1 bite from her plate, saying it was good, then going back to eating mine. I took 1 bite off her plate and it was not for me. We finished my plate, hers didn't get touched anymore. She said it sucks, so I asked her if I should ask to have it taken off the check. She said yes, so I went in and asked and they took it off. When she realized they took it off, she got very upset and threw cash on the table as we left, saying she thought I was being nice by asking for a box so we wouldn't leave the mostly untouched dish. I tried to explain that it was just confusion and apologized. She went on and on about how terrible of a person I am that I would even have such an idea, and only if there is something wrong with the quality of the food should it be taken off like a bug, etc. She went on and on about everything I did wrong today. We get back to the hotel. She was planning to have dessert delivered. As soon as we get to the room, she says she booked another hotel and left. I'm heartbroken and afraid that this could be the end of our relationship. This trip was a huge mistake and I should not have come.